Now that we've talked about HEC-DSS, I want to show you how to import data from an HEC-DSS file as well as from a Microsoft Excel file. I'm going to select Data, New, using Import Wizard. And like before, I'll leave the first screen blank and select Next. I'll leave the data source set to HEC-DSS. And now I'll select my DSS file using the ellipses button here. I'm going to double left click on this Mackenzie River Streamflow DSS file, and I've already moved it inside of my SSP project directory. Notice that we have multiple records within this file. In order to help find the correct record, I'm going to sort by FPart using the dropdown. And now I'm going to double left click on this Blue River Reservoir elevation dataset to select it in the lower panel. Now I'm going to click Next and examine my data to make sure that I selected the correct record, and I'll finish by selecting Import. I can now plot my reservoir elevation data set. I can also create a year-over-year plot, like I showed before with the annual peak flow data. This is really cool and lets us assess when low pool is typically held, which months of the year, and when a high pool is typically held. The last data set I'm going to import is stored in a Microsoft Excel file. I'm going to enter a short ID of Fort Collins precipitation because I'm importing data from a long-term gauge that's located in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'll now switch the data source to MS Excel and select my Excel file using the ellipses button. SSP is showing me that there are 3 tabs in this Excel file, and I want to import data from the second one, so I will select it. Now I need to tell SSP what is contained in each of the columns. From this drop-down menu in the A column, I'm going to select Date and Time, and the drop-down menu in the B column, I'll select Values. I need to tell SSP that the first row contains headers, not data, so I'm going to right-click in the A1 cell and select Skip Cell. Notice how that cell is now gray. I'll do the same in the B1 cell. I can plot my data to make sure that I inputted everything correctly in SSP, and this looks correct. Notice that the Y-axis label says count because we haven't yet told SSP what type of data this is. This is where entering A through F parts is really important. As I mentioned in the DSS video, the A part refers to the watershed, so I'm going to enter Kasha-Laputer. The B part is the location, so I'll enter Fort Collins. The C part is the variable, which is precipitation. And by default, we change the E part to 1 day, which is correct for this data set. For F, I'll enter OBS for observed, and the data units and type are correct, with inches and period cumulative. I'll check my inputs one more time on this screen, and then select Import. And now I've imported a data set from Microsoft Excel. I can filter a data set for use in an analysis. I'll right-click on my precipitation data set and select Filter Data. On the Dates and Thresholds tab, I can truncate using a specific time window, filter by a season, such as January 1st through March 31st, or I can apply a min and maximum threshold. In this example, I'm going to extract annual peaks, and so I want to filter my data set to only include complete water years. I'll enter October 1st, 1900, and an end date of September 30th, 2022. The Duration tab lets you average data over a specific number of days. The Peaks tab allows you to filter to an annual maximum series or a partial duration series. I'll enter October 1st as my demarcation for my annual maximum series. The Starting Pool Stage/Elevation tab will only be accessible for stage or elevation datasets. This allows you to filter the starting elevation based on a rate of rise and a typical high pool duration in days. The filter is useful when determining reasonable antecedent pool elevations for use as initial conditions in hypothetical precipitation runoff simulations. This tab will also be disabled if the Filter to Annual Maxima or Filter to Partial Duration Series checkboxes are checked on the Peaks tab. To save my annual maximum series as a new dataset, I'll select Save Filter Dataset As. I'm going to change the name to AMS for Annual Maximum Series and change part of the F part to AMS and select OK. Now, holding my Control key, I'm going to select the two precipitation datasets and select Data Plot.